YouTube? It's Custom K here with KKRC. Got a new product in today. Not anything new, but something new for me. Just wanted to do a quick unboxing of it and a initial review. It's the HobbyWing Quic Run 1060 ESC. Very similar to the Axial AE5 ESC that I just did a review on a couple days ago. I ordered this ESC originally to go into my trail finder, not knowing that it does not have a drag brake, leading me to get the AE5. So I will not be using this ESC, but I will go ahead and open it and do a review on it, just to give you my initial opinion. I have already installed the AE5 ESC into my trail finder, so I won't be able to do a side-by-side comparison. But I will be able to just give you guys a general idea of the similarities, the quality differences, and things like that that I noted just by looking at this guy. I will go ahead and tell you that this ESC is not expensive by any means. I think I picked this thing up on eBay for less than $20, so not expensive by any means. Comes in a pretty standard box, you know, nothing special there. So we'll open it up here and see how it is actually physically packaged. Okay, so it just slides out just like that. It's a lot smaller than the AE5. I will go ahead and say it's not what I was expecting. So pull this out here. That thing is tiny. I am very surprised at the size of this. I thought it was going to be a lot bigger, I must admit. So right off the bat, I can definitely tell that it is not the same as the AE5 ESC by Axial. A lot of speculation was out there about this ESC, or the Axial AE5 ESC, being a rebranded HobbyWing ESC. Maybe not necessarily the Quic Run, but I know there's one I believe called the Easy Run that a lot of people were saying is the same, which I concluded in my AE5 Axial review that they are not the same, in my personal opinion. But you know, what do I know? It's just an opinion. So right off the rip, I can go ahead and tell you that the ESC is definitely a lot smaller. Box is real standard, just a plastic container holding it. They include some two-sided servo tape or ESC tape with a couple heat sinks, 2 zip ties, an instruction manual, I do suggest reading, and some stickers. You got some blue, some pink, black. Pretty cool that they include that for such a cheap ESC. And also the plastic here is indented for the ESC of what ESC it is for the manufacturer. So I'll go ahead and put the box back up and set that off to the side, and just take a quick look at the ESC itself. Like I said, it is very, very small, in my opinion. It's definitely smaller than what I was expecting. This is brushed, obviously. Waterproof, right out of the box, factory waterproofed. And it does use the same jumper system that the AE5 does. I think that's why a lot of people thought that maybe it was a rebranded, the Axial AE5 was a rebranded HobbyWing, because you can look on this ESC and see a lot of things that Axial incorporated into their ESC that you also see on this, such as the little switch here is waterproof. It is practically identical to the switch that is on the Axial AE5. It also has this little hook here and these little indentions here on the side to hook the power switch to. You can hook it two ways, upside down or right side up, depending on how you're installing the ESC into the vehicle. So that is definitely something that was also incorporated on the AE5 ESC. The jumpers as well has 2 jumpers that allow you to switch from Lipo or nickel metal. And also you have, is what differs here on this ESC compared to the Axial AE5 ESC, is instead of it being a drag brake setting on the second jumper, you've got mode settings, I guess you could call them. You have forward brake reverse, forward brake, and then forward reverse. So there is 3 modes there. I do not believe that the forward brake reverse mode is a drag brake. I think it's a standard brake. Then again, I do not know 100%. I'll have to hook it up to see, or do a little bit more research on that. But as far as I know, this ESC does not have a drag brake. So aside from that, looks like maybe a 9-inch wire here. It's definitely longer than 6 inches. You have a blue and a yellow wire here, which are going to power where your motor connects in, and then a black and a red where your battery connects in. Standard to me, a plug. You know, once again, like I said, a lot of similarities here in this ESC and the AE5 ESC, but the physical size is definitely smaller. The weight and the quality of it really feel like it's up to par, and it's a good quality system. You know, I really have heard a lot of good things about HobbyWing. Not so much in the U.S., but over in Europe, HobbyWing is a proven, well-known brand that a lot of people use. So, you know, I think that this ESC is going to be a good quality ESC. One thing here that I can go ahead and note out is, if any of you guys are wondering, you know, well, how do you know which one is positive and which one is negative on these 2 battery leads? If you look, the way it's set up down here, you've got the blue next to the black and the yellow next to the red, indicating that your blue is going to be the negative and your yellow is going to be the positive. Real simple, real straightforward. They've included everything that you need to hook this up and install it into your RC. It is a 60 amp 10th scale ESC. That's where the 1060 comes from. It can support up to a 3S LiPo or a 9-cell nickel metal. Has a 5 volt BEC with at 2 amps, so it does have an internal BEC. And you know, it once again is a pretty standard basic ESC, but I must admit I'm pretty impressed with the quality of it. It is definitely better than what I was expecting, and I'm really impressed with the size. By looking on the pictures and online before I bought this ESC, I thought it was going to more closely resemble the size of the new AE5 ESC or an old Axial AE2 ESC, but it is much smaller. So, as I said, I did already install the AE5 into my Trail Finder 2 here, but I will pull it off here and just kind of do a side-by-side of it on the rig so you guys can see it. So if you see here, here's the Axial AE5 ESC. You've got the jumper system over here. The wires are once again very similar, but when you set this HobbyWing next to it, you can very clearly see that it is a much smaller ESC. And also, you've got 2 little caps here. When on the HobbyWing you only have 1. The jumpers are on opposite sides. You got the jumpers are over here on this ESC, and the jumpers are over here on the Axial ESC. The heatsink is much bigger, and the whole case itself is physically, you know, much bigger. The heatsink alone on the AE5 is the size of the ESC HobbyWing ESC. So I find it really hard to call this ESC a rebranded quick run, at least. I have not seen the easy run, so I may have to pick one of those up just to bust this speculation once and for all. But when Axial used Castle products, they made it very clear that their AE2 ESC was Castle Link compatible, and it was a rebranded Castle Link or Castle Creations ESC. If their ESC was a rebranded HobbyWing, I think that they would make that pretty clear and state that. I think they have just taken some designs and ideas from the HobbyWing Quick Run series and incorporated that into their new ESC. So, in summary, I think this ESC is a really good quality. The packaging is really nice. They include everything you need to install it. It is waterproof. It does have a 5 amp BEC. It does have different modes here. You can run nickel metal and Lipo. It already has the battery connectors soldered on. So I think for somebody just getting into the hobby or looking for a simple, easy setup or installation, I think this would be a perfect choice for someone looking to do something like that. So without installing it in a vehicle and running it, I'm going to go ahead and give this ESC a 4 out of 5. I think it's pretty good. When you look down in there, you can see the waterproofing that they use. It looks coated on there nice and thick and well, and it really does not seem like a cheap ESC. And for the price, if it holds up and runs as advertised, I think this will be a great buy for the buck. Now, aside from the review, I haven't decided what I'm going to do with this ESC yet. I was speculating on using it as a winch controller for my Rubicon, but I was kind of leaning away from that just because of I didn't want to have another ESC in there running around and more wires and all that. But after opening this and seeing the size of it, I'm starting to consider it again. It would be really easy to fit into any vehicle and any application. So it may be something that I end up using as a winch controller, or maybe something I just end up using as a backup, or it may even be the first KKRC, SCRC giveaway. Maybe I might set up some sort of little page like or subscription like or something, and do a little giveaway. Now, I haven't decided yet, so don't get too excited and keep your panties on. But if I decide to do something like that, I will give the details and let you guys know what you will need to do in order to possibly pick one of these guys up from me. So that's pretty much it. Just wanted to open it. For now, it's going to be going on the parts shelf just as a backup. We'll have to see how that AE5 holds up. This could be replacing that. But I will go ahead and say once again, like I already said, to my knowledge, this ESC does not have a drag brake. So for crawling applications, if you like to use a drag brake in your setup, it may not be ideal for you. But for something like a brushed 4x4 vehicle, aside from a crawler, this I think would be a really good setup. Or like I said, for somebody just looking for something real basic and simple and cheap, but still good quality, I think this would be a good setup for them as well. So that's it. That sums it up on the HobbyWing Quick Run 1060 brushed ESC waterproof. I hope you liked the video. If you did, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more unboxing and running videos of these RCs. And with any luck, we'll see you out there on the trails.